welcome everybody once again to another NerdCon1.com edition of the Crypto Mind. Yeah, you see here my YouTube channel, the Crypto Mind, right behind me, and you come here please to get a lot of information about crypto mining, about the crypto universe in general, and what's going on with trends, and also I try to provide a little bit of philosophy about how to think about crypto and how you want to interface and plug into it, and to always know why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, well, and like I said, this is my special weekly NerdCon1.com edition of the Crypto Mind. Yeah, NerdCon1.com. Please check them out. A great bunch of creators. There's 4 main creators, and they have some great shows, and I am privileged to be an affiliate member of theirs, and I give them a show once a week here on Thursdays, and they talk about all kinds of cool nerdy stuff like games, consoles. They have discussions about gaming and concepts in it. I've seen some tutorials. I've also seen they have a show on Saturdays about movie reviews, and also just talking about movies in general. Sometimes it's reviews, sometimes it's history, a whole lot of opinion, and then the 4 usually get together sometimes for once a week chat about different things that are up. So never without content. NerdCon1.com. Check them out, and remember, if you want to get some Crypto Mind or any of the NerdCon1 show apparel, you can go to nerdcon1.com/shop, and here it is, the Crypto Mind. Please take advantage of all of the terrific merch that you can get here, and they don't just come in these colors. Once you're in there, you can check out different color schemes as well. All right, one last pitch. Don't forget, I now have a website, and it is growing. We're still adding more to it. These things don't happen overnight. But yeah, the Crypto Mind is now a website. So cryptomind.net. Go there, and then you can instantly also see all of my videos from YouTube are stacked there and updated all the time. So you can check that out. We've got a link to my merch, some of my other social media, and also I'm creating a links page where you can find some very helpful stuff for you. Tools like, wallets, exchanges to be with, and then also in the free crypto section, some places where you can get crypto for no cost at all, except for having to press some buttons. Some of them are like games. Some of them are just daily visits where you get some small little bits of crypto. And others like RoundlyX is a place where it sets up a system for you so that when you use your debit card or your bank account, and the spare change can be rounded up and then purchased into crypto of your choice. So check out all those links, and you may find that your crypto life becomes a lot easier. All right, so there's several things up. I hadn't put a video out for a while after my unboxing with the Radeon 6800, and I'm going to do a follow-up on that, the AMD Radeon 6800 XT, which I purchased, and basically replaced 2 Radeon RX 580 cards out of my AMD rig and placed the RX 5800 XT in replacement. And the reason I did that, one is, I have... because of the power supply I bought, I have some limitations about how much power I can throw through my rig. And so with the RX 6800 XT, I actually, and I should do this. And here's a picture of it from my unboxing video, right? With the RX 6800 XT, I basically get the same hash rate, or slightly more, than 2 of the RX 580s put together. And my electrical output is basically even, or sometimes slightly less than the 2 put together. So I've got a lot of efficiency going on with the RX 6800. And I really like efficiency, especially while I'm still a home miner. I need to get as much bang for my kilowatt hours as possible. So I'm gonna have a video soon, probably a short one, showing the card in my rig and showing some of the statistics that I'm talking about on the screen, so that you can see it more clearly. It's not just me telling you, "Oh yeah, believe me." All right. So the other thing that's going on is that, well, with some of the expansion of my mining rigs and other things, I'm in a two home property on this one small city lot, and the electrical situation is getting a little shaky, especially because it's all tied together in one system. So we've begun the process of making the two houses electric independent, and so that's been creating some disruption here at the home studio. But I have a quick video to show you about what it looks like and what's coming up. All right, everybody. So this is what's been delaying me a bit, is that I live in the back house of a two-house property, and honestly, we're having electrical problems. I think with the load, and I think partly, because I've got two rigs and a tower PC and a couple mini computers, and although that's not necessarily that much more, I think the overall wiring for the two houses put together, all in the same box, was stressing everything out. So as a result, we're getting our own electric here in the back house, right? And so they've put in the box, and they're just getting it all set up. This is a ground, this pipe here going around the side of the house, that is going to the water heater to ground everything down, here locally in the back house. And then yeah, so it's just getting everything, the electrician's getting everything set up to have everything independently wired. Probably out to this transformer here is the closest place in the back area. So I haven't done my videos in a while, and that's because there's been all kinds of off and on with the electricity, and other things, and there was just too much going on. But I'm really excited. We're getting really close to getting our own electrical service independently here in the back house, and so yeah, stay tuned for more on this. I'll be really excited when it all comes to completion. And actually, I've talked to the electrician, and I am probably going to put one extra plug into the house where my rigs will be dedicated to that breaker, so it's not stressing out all the rest of the house. Okay, back into the studio.
Hey everyone, at Disney Adams here from the NerdCon 1 channel. I would like you to join me in welcoming GamerGoat to the family of sponsors for the NerdCon 1 channel. If you are a listener or a viewer of NerdCon 1, get a 15% discount at www.gamergoat.com using code NerdCon1. That's www.gamergoat.com using code NerdCon1.
All right. Well, I'm back here in the studio. I'm really excited about when this will actually happen completely, and I'm hooked up independently on my own meter. That's actually going to save. I did some calculating, and it's going to save the property some money, mainly because in our state, or with our electric company, we have like a three-tiered system for our electric charges. So the first 450 kilowatt hours in the month is charged at around 7 cents per kilowatt hour, which is great. The second block of 450 is charged at about 10.5 cents per kilowatt hour, which is still not bad, close around the national average. And then above that, those first 900 kilowatt hours, the rate is either 12.5 or 14.3, depending on the time of the year. I think it goes up during the summer months when the electric grid is a lot more under stress. So one of the strategies about separate metering is it will give both the front house and the back house their own full 900 kilowatt hours of the more discounted rate before you get to the other part. And by not being in that, pushing a lot of kilowatt hours into that highest tier, we save money on our overall bills. And that's great. And the front house, which has solar on it, then may get to the place where they're zeroed out on their bill, which is always, one of the goals with solar, right? So we're making that happen. It's not finished yet, as you saw, but all of the box has been put in, and all of its setup is pretty much ready for the electric company to come in and inspect. And I will maybe in a future video I'll show like what one of my electric bills looks like once we're on our own setup. I'm looking forward to that. All right, here's some news items. I've got two of them that I think are big deals right now. First one, Ethereum, which I always call Ethereum, and I don't know why. Ethereum, ETH, the great ETH, the one that all the mining zombies, who don't want to think about anything else, they mine ETH, and with real reason, because Ethereum still presents one of the most profitable coins or tokens to mine out there in the crypto space. Now, a couple things have happened that are challenging that, but right now ETH is still king. And there's two things going on. I want to direct your attention right here where my cursor is, where it's going over this ETH gas at 46 Gwei. Now, it wasn't that long ago that you never saw 46 Gwei. You never saw a gas price so low as 46 Gwei. Yeah, I mean, 150 was normal, and sometimes under peak circumstances, we saw 400, 500 Gwei. And what did that mean for ETH miners? What it meant is that there were times, once you got into the space where you're around 300 Gwei, the miners who get the block rewards, they get the basic block reward, which for Ethereum was 2 ETH, and it's always 2 ETH. But you also get the transaction fees for the transactions that occurred during that time between those blocks. And when the Gwei was around 300 or more, then the amount of money, the reward you would get would be 4 or more ETH, meaning that you were getting as much or even more money from the transaction fees than you were the Ethereum itself. So now with the Berlin fork, the Berlin upgrade, we're now seeing some changes. 46 Gwei. The highest I saw it today on Thursday, the 29th of April, I think I saw it up to 63 Gwei. That was the highest, and typically I see it in the 50s. So what does that mean for ETH miners? It means that you're not getting those transaction fees like you used to. And this is why some mining pools out there, if I go to miningpoolstats.stream, you're going to see that on some mining pools now over here on the left, that some of them say plus MEV, plus miner extractable value, MEV profits. And this has been a way that the ETH community has tried to create some extra value for miners. Not all pools have implemented it. Some have, some have not. But jury's still out as to whether that's going to make a difference in ETH mining. My take on this is well, here's the deal. ETH is still the most profitable thing to mine. But why is that happening right now? Well, that's where we go back to the charts, okay? ETH now at 2,745 and 12 cents as I'm recording this on Thursday afternoon. That is basically an all-time high. The all-time high for ETH, 27.97. So we're $50 off the all-time high. So the reason why mining is still super profitable with ETH, even under the new system, is because Ethereum is hitting higher highs. So if we look at a chart here over the last 14 days, you'll see that that uh, ETH has, it went through its ups and downs along with Bitcoin, but now in the last few days, it's shot up and then has had this just steady rise up of the pricing as we've been going along. And that kind of steady chug along the last 4 days. Very healthy action, in my opinion, of a stock that's climbing. So as long as the price of the stock is climbing, then the profits are going to be okay. And that's important because if you look here, back at miningpoolstats.stream, I've got this graph here that I'm moving my mouse around on. This is the hash rate difficulty, the difficulty of the blocks over the last 6 months. Okay, this is a 6-month chart, so really the last 7 days are just right here at the end. But you'll notice that the difficulty is also going up, which means there's more hash rate being poured into Ethereum. More people are trying to mine Ethereum. And so with each succeeding block, there's an increase in the difficulty rate. That's so that the blocks still come out at the same amount of time each time, even though there's more and more mining action. So with the higher difficulty, with more people climbing in, it becomes harder for the same card to mine the same value. So the only way for the value to be even is for the price of ETH to keep going up along with the higher difficulty rate. Right now, that's exactly what Ethereum is doing. And so as long as that holds out, then Ethereum mining is going to be just fine for miners, even without the big gas fees. But the second Ethereum stalls out, and you still have a big difficulty rate, that's where there's going to be problems. And in my opinion, actually, I think that this is where the divide between industrial mining and hobbyist mining comes in. I think for hobbyist miners, it will be a slightly more difficult. I think the industrial miners can keep up the difficulty game. I mean, they're the ones especially pushing it, buying all the latest ASIC ETH miners and such that have huge hash rates. And as a result, I think industrial mining can be, with the scale that they have, can be satisfied with a smaller profit margin, yet because of their scale, will still output a lot of profit for their operations. Whereas as hobbyist miners, that's not necessarily the case. Now, for those of you who have, your own jobs or whatever, and you don't care, right? If you're maybe a little bit less profitable, then you can keep mining ETH. Although most of the ETH miners I know mine because it sits at the top of the profitability chart. So if Ethereum doesn't continue growing in its price, then that's when you're going to start seeing some of these other contenders that are biting on the heels of Ethereum, like oh my God, Conceal just recently, and Bitcoin Gold and Flux and Haven and some others that every so often get there. Flux has actually gone ahead. Aeon has done it every once in a while, and a couple others. This never used to happen at all, and now there are contenders for that hash rate showing up. So that's kind of like the Ethereum report. I will say that that the reduced gas costs and a revival in DeFi action is spurring Ethereum prices on, and the popularity. And so, Ethereum is here to stay for a long time. It's the OG in the smart contract arena, and more power to it, right? It's just one of many great projects out there. I will never stop letting people know. If you look here in the corner underneath the Gecko avatar, coins, 6,938, right? Not all of them mineable, but 6,938 projects out there that are available. Not all of them are worth it. Some of them are dead. Some of them are dying, but this number keeps increasing. And so just always remember that there is actually a lot of choice right now, and there's just an explosion of creativity, innovation, and different projects that need our support. And if you are an early adopter in some of these, you can make some bank. You can, I mean, I have now in this last year mined certain things that were in the gutter and are now 10xing, 20xing, 30xing, and you know you can too. So Ethereum's not the only way to make money in this mining ecosystem. Okay, next up, uh, there's a new game in town. It's not super new, but it's somewhat new. Helium. Helium hotspot mining. So, what Helium is it's pretty amazing. They're a company. I saw them about over a year ago. They were getting started. They were developing, and they were talking about their product. And I'm gonna sort of confess something here, which is I did something that I'm not doing as much these days, which is I seriously second guessed myself about this company. And I say second guess because when I was checking them out and seeing what they were doing, a lot of what they were doing was making sense. But at the time, and what they're doing is they are working with IoT, Internet of Things, tracking and using their hotspots, their Helium, what's called long-fi hotspots, to create a network that has coverage and things so that people who have IoT type services, either products or companies that use them on their equipment for tracking. There's a scooter company that uses the long-fi connection to keep track of where all their stuff is. There's many uses and more coming for technology like this. I will have to tell you that at the time I was interested in this other project called XYO, and XYO was attempting to do something similar, but with a different outlook, with a more of a Bluetooth thing, and there was something similar in nature to them, and their pitches and their ideas. XYO had come onto my radar before Helium, so at the time I was doing the XYO thing, and actually I found XYO to have been a great disappointment, and the project didn't back up really with what they were trying to say they were, and I lost some money there. So when Helium came along, and I'm hearing a similar kind of story, although it's a different type of wireless technology and other things, I kind of got gun shy. And yet I was listening and watching and soaking in all their information, and again, like kind of like XYO, there was something that was telling me that they've got a good idea here. They're solving a problem, because right now, like with cars, fleet vehicles, other things, they either have been using a radio technology, which is really expensive, or Wi-Fi technology, which can be choppy depending on the coverage, and also somewhat expensive. I think that, like a lot of crypto projects, one of the biggest things I tell people is that many crypto projects are trying to do what we do already in life, but they're trying to find a way to do it faster and cheaper. And I think that Helium is trying to provide that sort of a case for its product. And the fact is, it's taking off. And there are now Helium used to have like just this thing here, their little hotspot miner. And what it is you hotspot like when you think of Wi-Fi, right? Except it's their long-fi product, which basically has like a they quote about a 5-mile radius, and things can get in the way of that. And there's been some studies that shown that sometimes you can get a connection further away or coverage further away, but they say about 5 miles. And it's taking off. And one of the ways you can tell that it's taking off is that there are now multiple companies that are producing Helium hotspot miners. So it's not just Helium itself or the one company they worked with. Now other companies are getting involved in creating the products for Helium and actually competing with each other. And so this is a really healthy sign. And in fact, I finally got in and decided to buy a helium miner myself, which is the Bobcat helium miner, which currently is like the only one available right now, even to buy. And I'll tell you that there is a back order on them. They told me, hey, thanks, it's 8 to 12 weeks for you to get one. But like the other companies right now are like, you can't. We're not even taking orders because we're backlogged so far. Um, so why is that? Why is that occurring? So I'll show you what I found and what others are finding as well. So if I go to Helium and I go to their network map, right? If I pan out here, you look at the world, right? All these little green dots and clusters of them and everything are places where active helium hotspot miners are working as we speak. The little red ones are places where there are helium hotspots, but for some reason they're not active right now. So they could be just off, disconnected, something like that. And if we zoom in to where I am in Albuquerque, I'm going to show you like this map here, right? And this is how I figure things out, because look, you look at the map of the whole United States, for example. Look how thick it is. Like if you come over here into Silicon Valley, right? I mean, it's just packed. Look at San Francisco. Oh my God, right? And so of course they're going to get connections with other miners and have activity and yada yada yada. So, but is it going to be any good, out where I live, which is Albuquerque, New Mexico, and where we just don't have that kind of density, right? So, am I fooling myself? Is it, are we not really going to get something going here? So, luckily, this hotspot lookup can actually tell you, you can actually go in because it's all part of the blockchain. This is public record. You can go in and select on one of the spots. Come here, you. There we go. You can select on one of the spots, and then you can click on it and view the hotspot details. And you can see where it's like actively talking to several of the other hotspots in network. It's synced, it's relaying, and then it actually shows the witnesses. Those are the ones it's like witnessing and recognizing the other hotspots. And then rewards. So here's like where I went to this and several of the other hotspots in my community, and just to check out like what's the deal. And so in the last 24 hours, this hotspot has generated 2.46 helium rewards, HNT. In the last 30 days, it's done 66.60, and like there was nothing, or well, there was some tiny. And I have read that there is a ramp up time before you sort of get into full operation. But look at this, and 2.46 is actually on the lower end. There is more and there's less, but there's even times where it was 7.66. All right, well, let's go back to the market. Right now, Helium, after dropping 4%, is at $16.63 per Helium token. So if that kind of average day for that miner, like this one, this 2.46 was kind of like in the average. If we take that 2.46, now let's see, can you see my calculator down here? No, you cannot. Oh, because it's not part of the shared screen. Okay, well, I'll put some numbers. You can calculate with me at home. 2.46 times the share price of 16.63 is $40.90. $40.90 in one day. And that was kind of an average day. Well, $40.90. That Helium hotspot miner that I just ordered was, with the shipping and the taxes, was $528. So I'm going to be at ROI. I'm going to get my money back on it with the average. Excuse me. in about 13, 14 days. That's crazy, a 13 or 14 day ROI. So, I mean, with the video cards, actually, I'm experiencing that it's normal at the given inflated prices and everything that we have I have like a 160, 170 day ROI, and I'm like, okay, I'll mine for 160 or 170 days, and then I'll have broken even, and then off to the races, right? I mean, that's kind of how investing in this stuff is. 13 or 14 days. Now, if you want to add the 2 months on top of that, let's do that. All right. So add 60 days to that while I'm waiting for this thing to arrive. So it's now 76 days to ROI. I mean, that still is fantastic. So Helium's going to go through a couple of different phases, but right now it's paying more to get coverage. So, and I think because the strategy is they want coverage throughout the world, and especially major cities, but all over the place. And so they're actually paying you more to cover area that's not being covered currently. So actually, in less dense cities like Albuquerque and places, we have an advantage over San Francisco where they really piled in. You also get rewarded for being part of witnessing the transactions, kind of like in traditional mining as well. That percent is going up over time while the coverage percent goes down over time. Right now it's about coverage because they know that they're still building relationships with lots of companies that would use their services and whatnot. It's not complete yet, so they're working on that. Meanwhile, they're rewarding us for setting the network up and keeping it on and reliable. And it's perfect. A great example of showing how decentralization of all of this work that big companies do is fantastic because it's allowing lots of other people to step in and get their little piece. So instead of them having to borrow billions and zillions from venture capitalists, or what I call vulture capitalists, who swoop in and then take just an ungodly percentage of the company, they and sometimes run it into the ground or do bad things later. This is allowing all of us to have a piece, all of us to share in rewards of the health of the company, and provide a service to out there. So I'm kind of bullish on Helium, and in this case, I'm kicking myself because I was going to get a Helium miner about a year ago, and I didn't. I'm getting one now, and partly because I'm watching other people have success with the product, success with the service, and also Helium just got themselves put on the Uphold wallet. And Uphold.com, the Uphold wallet, is a wallet I use primarily. I don't hold a lot there, but primarily for onboarding and offboarding of my crypto to my regular fiat bank accounts, and also when I want to use fiat to buy stuff like quickly, I use Uphold. And so Helium being on Uphold, I think, is like a major step. It's a bigger wallet and exchange. And I think it gives it even more credibility and more accessibility to especially U.S. customers. So there you go. Once again, another great project. I'm really excited about all of this. So yeah, bobcatminer.com is the only place right now that's even taking orders. I would order now. You can use your credit card, or you can use USDC or USDT to purchase it, there you go. This has been another episode of the Crypto Mind. Stay tuned. There's going to be more great nerdcon1.com programming. We got Cinephile Saturday with Steve, and it's a great show. He always has great takes on his movie stuff. Check it out. Nerdcon1.com, the Crypto Mind. Put it in quotes when you're searching on YouTube in the search bar, and it'll come right to my page. Or go to my website. Sign up at my website. I'm going to be starting an email an email service where I every so often putting out important emails or sometimes timely information where I can't get something out on my videos, but you need to know it right now. If you're on my email list, you'll get notified of those important events that are occurring. So that's it, Crypto Mind. Thank you very much for watching. You guys have a fantastic week. See you next Thursday.